Well, good evening, everyone. This is Dewey Mosley coming to you with the Team Jireh trading update for 22 December 2020. Had a really great day today. Just look forward to going over the last few days. I know I haven't been with you for a couple of days, but there's been a lot going on. So we'll try to get everyone caught up, and we just look forward to going over what's in the market. So let's cut the music. And as always, we just want to remind you that trading and investing does involve significant risk, and that everything that we share with you today is for educational and informational purposes only. If you want to know more or read the rest of the risk disclosures and disclaimers, you can go to our website, our Facebook page. It's all resident there, and you can look at it in detail. But with that, just be careful out there, and let's get over to the markets. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and switch accounts here real quick. Okay, so if you remember where we left off a few days ago, this is a little bit dated stuff since I hadn't recorded. We talked about a strategy called the trampoline, of course, and we had a few left, and you can see they're represented by the two gray boxes here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just so that you can get a better idea of what it is that we actually executed. So the idea is, of course, we just want to stay above the bottom of the box until we clear the back end. So the good news is this very large trampoline represented by the gray box made it all the way through as intended. We did have a little bit of hedging cost, but this was a significant winner. So that worked out very well. The smaller short trampoline that we have up here represented by the white box was close, but no cigar. You can see here, and that would be on the 17th. We broke the top of the box. We did have a hedge that protected us somewhat from those losses. Probably could have executed that a little better, but the bottom line is we did have to close that out for a loss, but net, all of our trampolines together certainly did great, but even with just these two, we came out on top. So with both of these closed out at this time, we can go ahead and take them off of the chart. We don't need them anymore, and we can rinse, repeat, and reload for the next opportunity. So let me remove some of these drawings. Okay, which means where do we go from here? So after an analysis of a progression of strategies, I've talked about things called accordions, I've talked about things called mountain climbers, trampolines, and each time we run a strategy, we learn a little bit more about it, we can make adjustments, and we want to make sure that they are optimized, right? And you kind of never stop improving your position. So we have progressed now with these strategies to make them even better, to take out the weaknesses and maybe add some strengths to it. So what we're doing now is a slightly different strategy for right now. We're going to call it a bell. And in that strategy, the parameters, the objectives are a little bit different. And I'm just going to get us over to the S&P 500 futures, the larger contract, to talk about how that has gone. All right, so as you can see, and I have a lot of pivot points on the chart here, so you just have to excuse some of the noise that pops in around the chart. But as you can see, at least at the daily level on the S&P 500, it looks as if we have quite a bit. We did come up to a top here, and then we had quite a bit of sideways movement. If I kind of squeeze in here on what's going on. Pretty much sideways movement for the last few days. This day, however, was very interesting. Now, they got to talking about the stimulus bill, a couple of other things that are happening, but that is a huge wick to the downside. And then a massive buyer came in, or many massive buyers came in and really pushed this back up. So with all of the carnage that's going on around the globe, we can sit at an all-time high in the history of the markets. And even when it attempts to sell off, there are still massive buyers out there. So we can do the fundamental analysis that we want to do. We can look at historical price earnings ratios to give us an idea. But the reality is, between the stimulus and the projections, there is an appetite for buying shares. And I know there's projections out there that have us higher by the end of the year. But the lesson here for us, especially if you're more in trading mode than investing mode, the lesson is that you must trade what's in front of you. Don't try to, you can have an opinion all day long. You can have a bias all day long, but trade what's in front of you and follow the rules, especially as a technical trader. So as you can imagine, from a sideways market to some of these head fakes, as I like to call them, it made for some pretty interesting trading over the last few days. And in some cases you might have profited depending on what you're doing. But in many cases, it was more a matter of survival than it was necessarily profiting. So for this video, I'm going to keep us up here at the 1 hour level. I do some of my trading at the 15-minute, but we're going to stay up here at the 1 hour level just over the last few days. And what you can see, as I said, mostly sideways with some big dips. But as we learn in our live trading room sessions, we have tools, parameters, and patterns that we look for that give us an advantage as to when to buy, sell, enter, and exit trades. Given how the market has been moving, those have been tough to implement. But at the same time, we're not looking for any one trade. We're more concerned about what happens over the next 100 trades. So short-term pain is okay as long as you're abiding by the strategy that you put forth. So for me right now, I'm just writing a strategy here for the next 15 days or so. You can kind of see the profit since open. But basically for this strategy, I'm just trying to get the market to move away from this line where you see this buy order set with a stop. And as with everything, I'll tell you this at the end of the video, but if you want to know more, if you actually want to learn these strategies, we'd love to have you come join up with us here at Team Jireh and Jireh LLC, and we'll get you into our coaching sessions and our education system, and we will actually teach you how to do this for yourself. So for this part, though, I'm just going to be very generic because it'll be a lot to explain on this video. But just trying to stay away from this line, so you can see I've had a few interactions. We had a big dip, hoping it would stay down there, but now we're threatening to come back up to it. So we will just keep fighting that fight, and we will see how it goes. Let's move over to the Euro US dollar. I'll also say this, that when I'm giving you these examples of the instruments, currencies, or positions that I'm trading, a lot of it is more for example's sake. We have a level of product indifference, and you can take the principles that we teach you and really apply it almost anywhere as long as it's exhibiting certain characteristics. So the euro, I should say the euro US dollar currency pair in the futures markets, just to be clear, not to be confused with the euro dollar, which is a much different thing. But the euro, it does trade very similar to the S&P 500 futures. And again, you can see that we've had some dips. Those gray circles are places where it was really tough to get a read on the markets, more to news events than just the dynamics of the instrument itself. And so as a trader, we either make trade-offs or we make calculated decisions that, hey, if we know certain news is coming out, stimulus packages, Fed speak, elections, whatever, sometimes you might just want to step out of the way because the market is going to behave differently than maybe your strategy dictates. So it's just a choice that we make. But again, so far so good. We're still in the positive here, still making profits, and we hope that these news cycles will pass. You never know if there's something around the corner, but we hope these kind of disrupting news cycles will give us a little bit of a breather, and we can just trade a sterile market, so to speak, for a little while. But you can see we did get a dip away from this alert level. I actually do have a trade here in another account. And what I'm looking for, maybe not everybody, but what I'm looking for is to stay down here, or even better, continue down, right? and that'll just bode better and better for the strategy. So everything is working out pretty good, enjoying trading these markets as we head into Christmas. And we'll take a look at what the hours are. I might get maybe one more recording in before things really slow down and shut down, but we look forward to coming back to you. We do have a couple of guests with us here today. Great coach, Todd Chambers, Senior there, and we have Yvonne, Miss Yvonne on with us as well. We have a short time on the video, but I will pause for a second to see if they have any pressing questions before we shut it down. Okay. All right. Well, I think they will. Oh, we do have Todd. You have a question or comment?
No, just enjoying the show, man. I'm driving, so I would have more, but I got to wait till I'm sitting down.
Okay. Well, that sounds great. And so as you heard, both Todd and Miss Yvonne are members, business partners with our trading team. And we have an absolute great time learning together, masterminding together, and encouraging and improving each other as we get into these markets and learn to become better traders. And the idea is to be as profitable as possible. So when you do that together, it really works out. So if you want to know more about that, as these videos continue, you will have ways down in the comment section in the description of this video that will tell you exactly how to contact us and exactly how you can get joined up with Team Jireh to learn how to trade many of these instruments and techniques for yourself. So thank you for joining us here in the trading room. We look forward to seeing you at the next one. And until then, God bless, be safe, be prosperous, and everybody, if I don't talk to you before then, have a Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year.